Food is everything. We love food as a culture, as all cultures, as human beings. I think eating, the pleasures of eating are one of the biggest parts of being human. I have always tried to eat healthy. I was pretty much raised on the standard American diet, which is what most Americans eat, with the bacon and the eggs and the milk and the meat and the animal products. So I was raised on that. My parents are from Mobile, Alabama. There's a lot of seafood, a lot of fried seafood. That was my favorite kind. It was fried. So I grew up loving fried food. And I grew up in a family with weight problems, and I developed a weight problem from a very young age. So I started gaining weight. By the time I was 11, I was overweight. I was looking at my school pictures. And at 11, I was a chubby kid. I may not have noticed it then, and I don't know if my family did. I think my grandmother did, because I remember her making me a vegetable fruit popcorn bowl. It was like a diet food meal in a cookbook she had. So that started happening from then. And then, so I was trying to do better. I was trying to straighten up kind of a little bit better at a time. And then at the end of 2019, I made a big change that I thought would be temporary. I stopped eating all animal products and oil and sugar and salt. So I was going to do it temporarily, but then I found out that it's a lifestyle that people do permanently, and that it reverses diseases, and it makes weight disappear, and it makes brain fog disappear, and it helps you perform better. It changes everything. It's like magic, really like a magic trick. So I decided I would keep doing it. So I kind of considered myself a foodie before, because I love food, and I was always trying to go for healthier food, but that usually still included butter. I love butter, so butter wasn't going anywhere permanently until I took it out temporarily and found out that I could take it out permanently and I wouldn't die, and I didn't die. So now I'm butter-free, and I'm still a foodie, but now I'm the Easy Breezy Whole Foodie, which is the name of the little booklet I've written and the website I started to try to share this message with other people. Dry beans and rice. That's in our culture. That's not like it's new to anybody or expensive. It's very inexpensive. And if you ate nothing but dry beans and rice, you would be okay. It would be also good to add some vegetables, but beans and rice and vegetables, that's the I have such a thing in the book. So the way I structure meals, I don't really have recipes. It's more like templates. So a meal is 3 servings per person of vegetables and 3 servings of starch per person. So they can decide how many people. A serving of starch is a half a cup of beans or a half a cup of rice. So what I'd like to do is have rice and beans and potatoes cooked in advance. So when it comes to mealtime, it's just a matter of throwing in the beans and the rice and the greens. I like collard greens. Greens and kale. Kale is an alternative. You can often find kale cut and washed already if you can't find collards, but kale is just as good. It's the next best thing and easier to find. There is a lot of really exciting work going on in Detroit, Michigan. There's an organization, I can't remember the name exactly, but it's a support group, a plant-based support group. PlantBased Nutrition Support Group, that's what it's called, PBNSG. So what they do, so the other thing about the beans and the rice and the kale is this has to be a decision, a serious decision. You can't half step it. So if you're going to transition your family into a whole foods lifestyle, you have to really do that and take out all the junk food and the trash and stuff. So this organization helps people do that. And they work with Whole Foods Market, and they work with local farmers and community gardens to make produce available and accessible to people in what people call food deserts, where they don't have access to anything but fast food places. And to know that the fast food places really targeted our communities. It's not by accident that that's all that's available for us. It's because they said, oh, we can get these people to eat this, and they won't even think that there's an alternative, and they'll just keep doing it. And the USDA made a deal with us to help push more cheese, so we'll just push more cheese, and they'll eat more cheese, and as a result, they'll get more of the diseases that come from eating cheese, like diabetes and obesity and heart disease. And then that's okay too, because then we can sell them our drugs, our pharmaceutical drugs, and our medical system can keep being fed by all these sick people. So it's a whole big conspiracy. It really is a conspiracy. And the more we understand that, the more we can make different choices. And the other choices are not complicated. They're not expensive supplements or things imported from faraway places. We're talking beans and rice and potatoes and greens, and we know about that. We can eat that. And there are people who are not me, but people who are chefs who can hook these things up and make them taste almost as good as they used to taste when they had processed oils and animal fats in them. So it's just a shift. And if we want to move into the future, I think we're going to need to shift, and otherwise we're going to keep getting the diseases that killed our parents and keep suffering and dying in the same way. So I grow sprouts on my kitchen counter, and this is the easiest of growing. If somebody wants to get started growing, they can get a jar and a top with holes in it. You can buy a top with holes in it right here in Good Things and in all kinds of markets. So a mason jar, put some seeds in it. They have some seeds here, but you can find some sprouting seeds. Put them in water, soak them overnight, drain them in the morning, and then rinse them every morning and every evening. And the next thing you know, you'll have sprouts on your counter. So I have successfully grown sprouts, and I do that. I'm good at that now. But my cousin and I have also started growing some kale. We got some kale plants and cabbage plants, and we're making a go at those. They are growing now. She's built a beautiful greenhouse for some of our other plants. She also has some potatoes and some, maybe that's it. Is that all? Yeah, potatoes, cabbage, kale. Tomatoes, I see people growing a lot. I haven't been much of a gardener or container gardener, but tomatoes I know grow well in containers, and you can create a lot of tomatoes for yourself and your family in a container inside of the place. Also, containers, depending on the size, you can put little fig trees in there, and you can have fruit. And they don't have to be big before they start bearing. I saw one about this tall, and the guy said, yeah, if you bought that, you would have, I forgot how many figs he told me, but it was an acceptable number to make me want to water it and keep it alive. So figs are easy to grow, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm not the source of that information, but I know I can send you some links to the Gangster Gardener in LA. The first thing I'd say is to start thinking of their bodies like they would think of a pet. If you want your pet to be healthy and to do well and to be smart enough to follow your orders, feed it in a way that, and just take care of it in a way that promotes its well-being. I think that goes to what you feed it and how much sleep you make sure it gets and how much exercise you make sure it gets, and just treat it like, or even like a plant, something that you want to thrive and grow and do well in the world. So I think we don't do that. I think we just move through life and just see ourselves, don't even really see ourselves, but just get that new conception of who you are and whose you are. That's what the grandmothers say. We're here for a reason. God put us here, I think, to do something. And the better preserved we are, the better we can do that. So that's one thing. And I guess the second thing, and maybe it should be the first thing, is to get connected with spirit, with God, with ancestors, with the other side, with whatever source of energy you can find to believe in, because there's power available to us, and our ability to connect to the power depends on how well we're taking care of the vessels that we have to do that with. So that's 2, and let's see, what would be 3? Have fun. Just came to me. Enjoy life. Enjoy what's happening, whether it's something you would have chosen or not. Enjoy it. Don't trip over things going left when you wanted them to go right. Just roll with it. So. Easy Breezy Foodie.com. You can find me there. You can find the book there. You can find the contact information.